Okay, so what would be, if you were to recommend 2 or 3 things that business owners could do to reduce bounce, what might those be?
Yeah, so I have a post, and maybe we can link to it. I have like
Okay.
6 strategies that I recommend people to focus on, and those 6 strategies both work to reduce bounce rate and increase conversion. So they're this really cool strategies you can use to do both of those things, because you can have a 0% bounce rate and 0% conversion. Actually, it's entirely possible.
And still haven't won anything.
Exactly,
Right.
That's exactly right. So you're not just solving for bounce rates, it's 2 things, you want both. So one of the simplest things to fix is if you're running advertising channels, advertising programs, a great way to reduce bounce rate is to make sure that your targeting is set correctly. So here's a great example.
Okay.
I have a friend in Philadelphia who runs a furniture business, and one of his best-selling businesses is nightstands, a beautiful, gorgeous handcraft, whatnot. And so he started running campaigns on Bing and Google and like nightstands, targeting everything. And he noticed that his bounce rate was running close to 90%. And he's like, no, my stuff is really good. And it is good. And the website is kind of decent too, even though he's a small, medium-sized business, right? And then we noticed that the way that he set up his campaigns was he was doing a broad match on nightstands. And most of the clicks were coming through by matched on the keyword query, one nightstands. As it turns out, a lot of people are looking for one nightstand online.
Okay.
They have nothing to do with us, right? Nothing to do with our business of selling actual nightstands. And so, quick way to fix bounce rate, like negative match the word first. No advertising for the word first or one, right? No one nightstands. You don't want that. So you can reduce bounce rate by making sure your campaigns are optimized. In your display campaigns, make sure your creative is optimized. And the creative is optimized to be landing on the right page, right? So that's the first tip.
Okay.
Focus on optimizing the targeting options you have. If you're selling Viagra to 60-plus-year-old person, and God bless you, that's totally fine. Don't target websites and things that are for 20-year-old people because they may not have that problem.
Sure.
Same thing in other businesses too. The second way to reduce bounce rate is really spend time optimizing your landing pages. It is criminal how landing pages are so bad. I just was looking on my phone for men's aftershave, because I don't like the one I have right now.
Okay.
And so I saw an ad from Gillette. And I said, oh, perfect, Gillette, aftershave, makes total sense, right? Sorry, Old Spice. Old Spice.
Okay.
And so it makes sense, totally, Old Spice, all the social media campaigns, oh, how awesome.
Okay.
And so I click on the ad on AdWords on my phone, and the landing page is about deodorants. I'm like, wait, what the heck was that?
Right.
Like, did I not say what I want? Is that not how your ad showed up? What the hell is that? So fix that, right? Because I bounced instantly, right? And so Old Spice should go fix it, right? That's silly. But also the calls to actions that you have, the copy, the image. And so we have a lot of really great A/B testing tools, many free, some paid, that are a really great way to improve landing pages. That's your second strategy.
Okay.
And the third one, I think, is to use your task completion rate, survey-based analysis, to try and really understand why people come to our website. And so oftentimes you can't perfectly guess what I want exactly. It's kind of hard to get for a % of the people. But if we understood really well the top 2-3 reasons people come to our site, on our landing page, our main copy and everything could be about our core thing that we're selling and we are pimping, right? But on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, we could say, we could do some cross-sells and upsells. And so what happens is if we don't match the intent perfectly, we have a couple of small, on the side, gateways that allow people to go deeper and find the thing they actually want versus the thing maybe by mistake they showed up, right? So those are 3 quick strategies to go and reduce your bounce rate. It's not a big deal.
Those are really good. Really good.
Well, thank you.
Oh my gosh. And I remember studying about the task completion rate, and I'm thinking, wow, there are so many opportunities we can put that into action. And I'm thinking, as soon as I'm done with this, I need to go back and listen to it and capture all of these notes and put those things into action too. That's really, really good. Okay, so if you're a business owner and just trying to bring clarity to all of this, I mean, all of these are great recommendations and they might start to get overwhelmed. What are the the vital metrics, those 2 or 3 things that they should really, really pay attention to. Bounce rate's probably one of them, but what are those things that if they looked at nothing else and just looked at those, what would they be?
I have to tell you that anybody who answers that question is stupid. If you ask an expert that question and they answer it, then that's, or maybe not stupid, they're an expert. That's astonishingly arrogant, I think.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because a lot of my belief and practice is that every business is actually unique. And so both you and I, Stephen, could be selling women's underwear. Yeah. And yet our strategy could be dramatically different. Our target audience could be dramatically different. And the way that you and I are running our web business in context of our retail stores, as an example, could be completely different. And so when we ask an expert for the best metrics, tell me the best metrics. I mean, the reason that the answer is not very smart is because they have not bothered to sit down for even like 10 minutes and try to understand, Stephen, what are you really solving for? Or Avinash, what are you really solving for? And then let me recommend the metrics that tie to your strategy. So that's why I think that that's a very dangerous question to answer without understanding what the business owner is solving for, right? So I wanted to give that caveat in general. It's a very important, so don't ask people that, right, as a business owner. The thing that you should strive for is say, can I have like 3 minutes of your time? I'm going to take 2.5 minutes of the 3 minutes with you to tell you what I actually do on the internet, what I actually do in the real world. And in the last 30 seconds, you can tell me what metrics are relevant. And I'm telling you, if the expert is really an expert, all they need is 30 seconds. But you should spend most of your time telling them, what do you actually do? What are your advertising strategies? Who are the customers you're targeting? So I can turn that around really quickly. So I wanted that Uber thing. So I don't want to be so arrogant as to say, I can tell the entire world, these 3 metrics are golden, right? But in general, I say that if you're worried and overwhelmed, you should aim to have metrics, a key performance indicator for your metric in 3 categories. Okay. 3 categories. So I'm going to give you some suggestions for those. Okay. But 3 categories are very important. First, is there one metric I can use to measure the success of my acquisition strategy? Everything I do to attract people to my business, my website, and everything that happens before they show up, So here's a great metric for your acquisition strategy, your cost per acquisition. So you spend a lot of money on advertising, you should look at your CPA. How much does every click or every person cost? It's like a nice metric to use. Or the number of new visitors you're able to attract from one of these sources, or a whole bunch of them, right? There are a lot of strategies that you could use for acquisition. But you should have one, at least one. The second one is, what is a KPI that can help you understand the behavior of people on my website once they land? What is happening there? Is there a metric that can tell me that? Now, bounce rate kind of begins to start that journey, right? But page depth is a really good one. How deep do people get? The percent of people who see videos on your website is a great metric because it's a longer commitment they're making to you. Or the number of people who have visited my website more than 5 times in the last 7 days. Now, that's a really great metric because it's showing you a certain sense of loyalty, right? So the second category is behavior. The first one's acquisition. The third category is outcomes. At least have one metric that measures outcomes. And that is, as a result of this person coming to my site and having a behavior, did we get any win-win outcomes? Did I make any money? And were they satisfied? We want both. We don't want to be selfish lovers, right? So conversion rate is a great outcomes KPI. Customer satisfaction is a great outcomes KPI. NPS, Net Promoter Score, is a great outcomes KPI. The number of micro conversions is a great KPI for outcomes. The average order value is a great KPI. Number of donations to a nonprofit is a great outcomes KPI. So there are KPIs that fall in each of these 3 categories, right? But as a small business owner, as a person who's really busy, you should say, I'm going to go back to my team and say, I want you to recommend, to begin with, just 3 KPIs for me. One that helps me understand the effectiveness of my acquisition strategy. One that helps me understand the effectiveness of my website experience. Okay. Third, that helps me understand if there were good outcomes from our website. And that process can help you distill down to just the critical few very quickly.